The first thing that I learned is that impossible is nothing. That was the first thing I learned. So from there was easy. Like the first time I went for a seminar in America was 1999. It was with Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris was introducing Jiu-Jitsu to the world. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. 1989. I'm sorry, 1989. When I went to take a picture with him, you know what he said to me?
Huh?
He came to my ear and he whispered like this, "I never felt so safe in my life."
Oh.
You like that one?
I like that one.
And believe it, I'm looking forward to do some more MMA fights now.
Just
the reason why I'm getting in shape for grappling matches is to fight MMA. Soon I received 2 offers, and I'm thinking about it and seeing what I'm gonna do.
A few years ago, you were talking about the Pacification of America.
Mm-hmm. You've been doing your homework.
I have.
Yeah.
Alright guys, welcome to ALFALAND once again. I'm your host Arttu Nyman, and I'm sitting here with the one and only Master Renzo Gracie.
Pleasure to be here with you guys.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Porra caralho.
Porra caralho, what else can we say?
I'm fucking here with you.
It is my pleasure, believe it. Great.
How are you?
I'm glad you jump out of your work to come here to have a chat with me.
I have to leave that shit and come and take care
of business. I'm glad. Thank you for doing that, brother. Thank you.
Hey, we're in Finland. We're in Espoo, Finland. You're fighting the day after tomorrow. How do you like Finland so far?
I love it. I love this place, and I can't wait to see it more. I can't wait to sightsee tomorrow, to go take a look. Until now, I could only run and do the things for the ADCC, but tomorrow I believe I have some free time that I'll be able to make.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you going to do tomorrow?
I'm going to go see some things around.
Yeah?
See this beautiful city. I want to take a look at Helsinki, everything around here.
I'll show you a few places.
God.
I'm not going to take you to nightclubs because you're fighing the day
after
tomorrow. So.
Only Sunday.
Only Sunday. Sunday I'll take you out.
You got yourself a deal.
Yeah. So, you're fighting the day after tomorrow.
Sanai Kikuta, very tough fighter.
I was just about to say Sanai Kikuta, but that's not the first time you're fighting him, right?
No, that's the second. I fought him actually 20 years ago.
Exactly.
On Pride 2.
Pride 2, that was year 2000.
I believe it was 1997.
Oh, was it that long ago?
Don't remind me. It makes me realize how much time has passed.
And you submitted him?
The fight was 50. The rounds were 10 minutes. Was 5 rounds of 10 minutes. On the 6th round, I choked him out on the first minute.
With an arm in guillotine.
Guillotine, yes.
And before that, people thought that it was impossible
to get a guillotine with an arm inside. Huh?
How did you learn to do that?
The first thing that I learned is that impossible is nothing. That was the first thing I learned. So from there was easy. I remember I actually got on Pride 1 when I fought Akira Shoji. I got him in a guillotine with the arm in, and I let him escape. And the moment that I finished the fight, I went to the locker room with Ricardo Almeida, and I reviewed everything, and I felt how he escaped, and I was able to perfectionate that. Pride 2, it worked. Yes.
And so what are your expectations for the fight?
I expect a very tough match. This guy is very tough. He's a very good grappler. He was the only Japanese who ever won the ADCC at 88 weight division. And I can't wait to fight him, to measure myself against him as a grappler only, without the hitting, just on our specialities.
Yeah.
He's a very good judo player, very good takedown artist, and I can't wait to be in the ring with him.
I know, man. How's your preparation been?
It's been great.
Fight?
I took my time. I had a knee surgery since my last fight with Akira with Sakuraba. I had a torn ACL, so I replaced.
Was that before the fight?
A day before.
You tore it a day before.
Yeah. So when I began the match, I was feeling right.
What happened?
I was training with Roberto Correa, and it popped. It was a weird noise, something strange, and then the knee got very sore. So I woke up the next day. I exercised for 1 hour and a half, just aerobics, very light, to keep the blood going, and then I went straight to the match. And then I felt great, I couldn't just lead with that leg. It was hurting every time he shot in.
And that was a 20-minute match when you fought with Sakuraba.
With Sakuraba, yeah.
That's legendary.
It's a good time, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you turned 50 this year.
Yes, in March 11, I become 50. And I'm still happy because I don't have one gray hair.
Not one.
Not one.
And still handsome. I was just telling you that your mom and dad must be happy.
Yeah, my parents are the best creation. It's me.
Did they tell the other children that finally we
got actually, my parents got better as they went along.
Yeah?
Yeah, after me was Flavia, which is a very good, beautiful woman, Kira's mother. Then Half, then Hyan. So he only improved it, you know. I was actually the ugly duckling.
And even better after you, man.
Yeah, yes.
Unbelievable. How can they make... Maybe they should have courses on how to make beautiful.
True.
So, yeah, how's your training nowadays?
It's going very good. I was able to, after I finished the surgery, I began running right away. Once I get
because
better.
I've been following you on Instagram and you've been running
I do a lot of running. Yesterday I did an hour here. So I saw that. 22.
But was that something that you did before as well?
No, I began doing after my ligament got better. I began running. And I was actually 97 kilos, so I was able to drop 16
but muscle,
kilos.
Right?
No, fat. I was fat and lazy because the knee I couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
So I just stay home, eating, watching TV, living normally for a change for almost a year. And then one day I'm naked. I see a scale in my bathroom. I went in. When I saw 97, I put my clothes on. And I run for an hour immediately.
You started running.
Yeah, right away.
Just like Forrest Gump.
Exactly like Forrest Gump, you know. And I
was able, off and just start running.
I was able to lose 16 kilos in 2 months and a half. 2 months and a half, I lost 16 kilos. So I was very happy.
See, that it's funny about muscle memory that once
you had it, yes.
It's easy to lose, but it's easy to come back.
Yes.
So it doesn't take us long to build it up.
I was surprised that in 2 months and a half I was in that shape.
Yeah.
And then I began training hard. I began lifting. I began the whole process, and I'm feeling great.
But for physical preparation, did you run before or is this something new for you? You know.
No, I always liked running. I thought it was a good moment to think. You know, and normally when I run, I think about a lot of things. So I thought, and this was an important part because it'll bring my aerobic back right away. You know, I'm not getting tired anymore. I'm feeling great. And it was easy after to transfer this for Jiu-Jitsu, for the training on the ground, for the lifting. You know, so once I begin doing it, I start feeling again like I was 25. That's my feel that I have now.
No, but yeah, I believe it because sometimes, you know, I feel like when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, if I feel lazy, it's easy to rest in jiu-jitsu, right?
Yes.
Even if I'm sparring hard guys,
you still can keep going. That's the thing. Yeah.
Because I'm just being lazy, but when I'm running or when I'm, you know, doing
you cannot
circuits or something like that, I have to keep.
So yesterday I was very happy here while I was running because my average heart rate, they used to be 164, 165. Yesterday I checked was 150. So I run for 1 hour keeping the heart at 150. I couldn't believe.
Wow.
Yeah, that means that we're getting in shape.
Yeah. That's cool. You've been fighting for a long time, man.
Yes.
Now, let's go back in time. Obviously, people know what you've done and all that, but I really haven't heard the stories from Rio, you know?
Uh-huh.
I think I've heard, everyone's heard everything in between Rio and New York and to here.
Mm-hmm.
But what you come from a fighting family, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And so it was in your blood to start fighting. But how was it like back then in Rio?
It was different, especially like when my mom moved to Barra. That's where Gracie Barra was created. When my mom moved to Barra, Barra was a desert place. It was like a land of nobody, you know. And by our house, there was drug dealers. So once I moved there, I went to surf on the surfing spot. They kicked me out. They didn't let me surf.
Yeah.
So I moved like 300 yards down the shore, and I set up a team of people that were cast away from that too, the kids, and I started teaching them.
How old were you then?
I was probably 14, 13, 14. So then I began teaching them jiu-jitsu, making them learning to train, to fight. We didn't have a school near. I used to have to get 2 buses to go train and come back. So I would do that almost every day. And as I built a strong crew, we went over and kicked everybody out, and that spot was ours.
No, I know what you mean, because some people don't understand it. It's surfing is a very territorial
thing, yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you come in as the new kid on their breaks, they're gonna kick you out.
Yeah. So that's what happened. And then I came back, I took over the spot. And then...
Is it still your spot?
It's still my spot. I've been living in New York for 20 years, but it's still my spot there.
Good on
Nobody surfs there still. Quebra-Mar, the name. Yeah.
Next time I go to Rio, I call you.
You gotta go see it.
Can I go to your
Of
spot?
course. Yeah. And it's the best waves in Rio. Is there. And nobody surfs. It's
like
only
Baja.
local people.
I love Baja.
Beautiful place.
It's beautiful.
At the end of Baja Beach.
Yeah.
And the other problem we had was drugs. People were selling drugs everywhere there on the streets. And so then I stopped kicking them out too. Because we had the young kids. I had my young brothers and cousins. We had 10 kids living in one house, And I say, I can't have drugs around here. So I stopped kicking everybody out. And then the police liked so much what I was doing, they start supporting me. It was so funny. Any problem I had, they would come and interfere in my favor.
Yeah.
Every time they arrive, they see me, they arrest the other guy.
So you were kind of the boss
I end up being one of them. Yeah.
Nice.
So it was very good and positive. The other day I went there to visit, to show my son where was our house, where I grew up, and now it's a building.
How old is your son?
My son now is 22. I took him there, he was 18. So I pull over by the house where it used to be my house, and I go, son, see, this was dad's house, and the house was this whole corner. It was a big house. We have the dogs here. And as I'm there explaining, older people start coming out of the building and say, Renzo, is that you? Renzo is here, Renzo. So next thing I see, there was like 40 people with me, hugging me, telling me how much they miss me. They couldn't believe, that I came back there to see it. And that was the people that were there when I was growing up. I think I made a difference on their life.
Yeah, good one. I didn't know this story.
Very nice. It was very nice. And my son was looking at me like surprised.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
They know you're here. Yeah. The old people know you.
Yeah.
So, but after that, obviously, because people know the story how Gracie Jiu-Jitsu got to the United States by the Gracie Challenge tapes and all that. But that started already in Rio, right?
Yes. Like in reality, Jiu-Jitsu was popular in Brazil. We were fighting a lot. We had competition. We had huge competitions. And Jiu-Jitsu really took a big turn up, was growing a lot. And I really thought was in Brazil was big, and then it began in America in 1993, right before 1993. Yeah. Like the first time I went for a seminar in America was 1999. It was with Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris was introducing Jiu-Jitsu to the world. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we had an amazing opportunity to... 1989. I'm sorry, 1989.
That's what I was thinking, because 1999...
No, I'm sorry, 89. Yeah. 89. So that was 89, and...
How old were you then?
I was 18.
18
years old. So he was introducing, so he brought all his association. There was like 400 people there, and all the media, everybody. After that, Jiu-Jitsu was everywhere, and was introduced by Chuck Norris, on the seminar on the old Sands Hotel, not the new one, the one that they demolished.
So you got to meet the king.
Yes, right away, the strongest man alive.
Yeah,
and the best thing, when I went to take a picture with him, you know what he said to me?
Huh?
He came to my ear and he whispered like this, I never felt so safe in my life.
Oh.
You like that one?
I like that one.
Great. What a great soul, man. Amazing human being. Very tough fighter. He got his black belt from the Machados. You know? Yeah. Great jiu-jitsu guy.
It's funny because he's always been known for obviously for karate, but I knew he was into jiu-jitsu, and I knew that he had a black belt, but I I didn't really know that he was one of the first ones to get.
Yeah. He was the guy who introduced us. He invited, it was 11 Gracies, 10 Gracies to come to this amazing fair that they were having in Las Vegas. And then he introduced us to the world. So that's how it really took off, Jiu-Jitsu. And then UFC was created 4 years later. You know?
But before that, you had some challenge matches around in Rio.
I had one in São Paulo against the Vale Tudo guy. We had a lot in Rio, but it was more closed doors, or at the academy or at the house. You know, a lot of fights like that. People had a problem, another fighter would meet and set up an appointment and fought there. Bare knuckle, anything goes. Great moments and great way to prepare ourselves for what was coming.
Yeah, man, I was just about to think because people, the first time they go into an octagon, it might be the first time they're fighting in their lives, you know, and to do that the first time in front of maybe 1,000, 2,000, maybe 10,000 people is gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No.
For us, it was a joke.
Yeah, because for you it was just
another day in the office.
Yes, because you've been fighting your whole life.
That's true. And we fought in front of people. Every time we set up an appointment for a fight, would come like 60, 80 people to sit down around and watch. You know, so it was... My teacher used to say that I wouldn't get nowhere doing what I was doing. That I would end up in jail or dead in a cemetery. How wrong was she?
We should call her.
Yeah, believe it, I do it all the time. I remind her of that. Every time I have a book published, I send her a copy.
Good.
Yeah, I had one book published in like 7 languages. I send every single copy to her.
We have to send this
interview to her. Yes.
And the stories say that you were shot when you were 16, right?
Yeah, I was in a fight. With some friends of mine got in a fight, and I went in to rescue them. And
where was this?
This was in Rio.
Yeah, of course, but in just a
nightclub. It was a party. It was a birthday party inside a nightclub, and then the guy pulled out a gun and started shooting. And on his second shot, he hit my leg. He broke my femur. You know, when I felt the bullet hitting me, I took off after him with a broken glass in my hand to get him. He took off running with his gun and everything. When I turned the corner, my leg gave because the bone was completely fractured. So I hold the pillar. I almost fell. When I hold the pillar and I jumped back, he came back and unloaded. But he missed it. Thank God he wasn't a good shot. He missed the other shots. And then I made inside the woman's bathroom. So when I get inside the woman's bathroom, there was like 15 girls in there. I look at them, I say, there's a crazy guy killing everybody in the club. If he comes in here, he's going to kill every single one of you. So 15 girls were holding the door. I had no problem. I sat on the toilet and I relaxed. Nobody could get in.
And what happened to your leg after that?
I stayed like 1 year and a half to get better because I didn't need surgery. They had to keep it. They cast me from my chest, both legs down. You know?
Both legs?
Both legs. And my friends would carry me to go anywhere like I was a surfboard under the armpit, you know? Great times.
Great times. Pushed you out on the waves.
Crazy stories. And I had to use that cast for like 1 year straight. And then after they start removing. And once after I completed like 1 year and a half, I was able to start surfing, start running, start doing things. I got the mobility back on the knee, so back to training again.
And it seems to be working
100% better than before. Yeah.
Better than you want.
Yeah.
So from there, the Gracie challenges took off.
Gracie challenges were all the time. Like I told you, they would come to our house. The problem is what you see on Gracie challenge is nothing. Because all the good things...
Because the history is before.
No, we didn't have the camera.
Yeah.
But today I film everything with my phone. You know, all the time I see something funny, I film. Back then, no. Back then it was a camera this size. It come in a huge suitcase that you have to charge the battery. It was a mess. The VHS tape was this big, you know. So luckily I was able to film that fight because my aunt had a camera. The fight with Rickson and Hugo Duarte on the beach.
Oh yeah.
That was
You were the one filming it?
No, that was Hyans. My brother was filming, and I was right next to Rickson. But I was able to get a camera to film that, which didn't happen before. You know?
It's crazy time.
So if we had camera, it would be an amazing footage of those amazing days would be unbelievable. Sometimes I fought 3 times in one day. You know, so then they bring me to fight in America, World Combat, 3 fights in one night. How do you feel about this? I say, I was doing this when I was 16.
normal day.
17, yeah. It's a normal day, yeah.
So when your cousin Hoyes won the UFC, how was that for you? Like it kick-started everything, right?
Definitely. It was unbelievable.
You had seminars before that in California?
Yes, I had a few seminars in Chicago, in certain places, and I was beginning to look into, in the future, move to America. So that's, you know.
Did you have a job in Rio before that?
I had an academy, Gracie, Ipanema.
Gracie,
right on
Ipanema,
yeah.
And then it just...
Yeah, then I decided one day, I said, I never thought that I would leave Brazil. I like Brazil and Rio so much. I was near the people that I love, the friends. But the day that I went to New York, I say, this is, you know, I found such a variety of culture and people and languages and beliefs and ways of seeing life that I say, I got to be part of this. And, you know, I know it's going to make me a better human being. And I moved there.
Yeah.
That's how that was 1996, yeah.
No, it's a crazy place. New York is a crazy place. But for me, the best place in the world where I've been is Rio.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was difficult to let go Rio. I said, I can't go nowhere. I've been traveling everywhere before. And I said, I couldn't move from Rio. Then I came to New York. I said, this is a good place, you know?
So once you got to New York...
Once I got to New York, my dear friend, I understood what the song from Frank Sinatra used to say. Once you make it there, you make it anywhere. So it's the hardest place to make it, you know. I began teaching in a kung fu place. Then I moved to a methadone clinic, next to a methadone clinic. It was insane, the stories there. And then finally I was able to get a small basement, a piece of a small basement, and I start making such a good work that we start growing. Today I have 3 floors on the same building. I have the whole basement and 2 floors above. Yeah. It's the real American dream, like they say.
Yeah, that is the American dream.
Out of the boat without speaking not even proper English, now here we are.
And now speaking better than most
16,000 square feet next to Madison Square Garden, right next to him. It's like 1,600 square meters of academy right next to Madison Square Garden.
Did you speak English at the time when you came to...
Very poorly. I learned from movies and things like that. I was able to improve after like a year and a half. Like I remember I used to ride in a train to the city, and it was an hour ride every day. So I would read and translate everything. I bring a translator and I would translate every word. And I remember as I got to learn, I began to getting less and less words per page. I would highlight and put the translation. By the end, was like, I don't need to translate nothing.
I know,
anymore.
and sometimes it's like languages is more... Learning a language is more about just being bold and trying to speak.
You gotta speak, yeah.
Yeah, and
even though people sometimes won't pay attention on you, or they think, it's a dumb guy talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have a clue, and
it doesn't have to be perfect, you know, because when I go to Brazil, my Portuguese is I mean. It's
I like the porra caralho. I like that already.
You like it already?
Yes.
And I always try
my
to
favorite words.
Make conversation with the taxi driver or somewhere. We don't always understand each other, but somehow, you know, it's just
you
getting
end up,
along.
I used to have, when I moved to New York, one of the schools, one of the places that I had, there was a Chinese guy, the older guy, he was like 68. He couldn't speak a word in English, and I didn't know a word in Chinese. By the end of the year, we could communicate for like an hour.
Yeah.
We create a language between me and him. We understood each other like you couldn't believe it.
Wax on.
Yeah. He was a culture, like a culture teacher in China.
Yeah.
He used to do the dances and
oh, nice.
Unbelievable. Yeah. He was a history teacher and unbelievable. And in the end, I learned from him a lot. How the Chinese think and how they work.
New
and how
York
they
is a place like that where all kinds of people from all around the world come and they just, you know, melt together and find a way to communicate.
That's why I fell in love with New York. That's why I had to move.
And that's where you met Serra, right?
Yes. Serra I met right on the beginning. He was from Long Island. and he used to work in security, in a security booth. And he was very talented guy, very talented, but he was always tired. You know, he was always tired. And I go to him, Matt, why are you always tired, man? He goes, oh, man, I work the whole night in a security booth. I said, man, a lot of people come in and out. Brazilian thinking, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes, no, nobody. I say, so lay down and sleep. He goes, no, the place is so small that if I lay down, I have to keep my legs up. Or if I sit, if I put my legs down, I have to be in a sitting position. I said, man, forget this job. Come to work with me here. So I got him to start working with me. And he learned to be an amazing teacher. He was already an amazing Jiu-Jitsu guy. Next thing you see, I had a school in Long Island. When he got his black belt, I passed the school to him. Say, this is your school now, with all the students and everything. He goes, Renzo, do you mind if I put my name? My dream was always to have my name on the lights. I said, if you don't do it, I'll be disappointed.
That's the way it should be in martial arts, you know, because when a teacher passes on his learnings, it should be, you know, the student has to start an home school. That's what I think is.
I believe so too.
That's
to pass ahead. Yes,
nature of the game, and
so true.
It's like raising up a child, because you know, if the child stays at home when he's 40, and there's something wrong, you know, he
so true.
Has to go away and try his own ways.
Yeah.
And then
Matt became the champion that he is, and now making guys like Chris Weidman, fighters on that caliber. You know, they have an unbelievable school. I love when I go down there to teach and be with them. You know, it's always amazing.
What was that when you started also going to Japan to fight?
I believe I began going to Japan was like 1998 or 1999. That was the first Abu Dhabi too, the first ADCC. That was Pride 1. And it was 1998, I think, I believe. 1996. I thought, no, 1997, I think Pride began. And so exactly, 20 years, it's going to be 20 years this year.
Yeah.
So 1997. And my dream was to go to Japan. I heard stories of Japan. Our culture in our family, they always spoke very highly of Japan and how they taught the samurai's codes and how the fighting way, the martial art way, and how the Japanese were different. And then it was a dream come true. The next thing I see, I got invited to fight there, you know? And I fell in love with the place, unbelievable country, unbelievable people. And we end up having a lot of, I went 47 times to Japan. Total.
47 times?
47 times, yeah.
And you must have some crazy stories from those times.
Unbelievable. But every time was unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, we're talking about two different time frames now, because fighting was fighting 20 years ago. Now it's a sport.
Yeah. It changed a lot. Now they have weight divisions. They have. Back then was like, let's see how these two guys.
Exactly.
When I fought Kikuta last time, he was like 230, like he was 103, 104 kilos. And I was like 76, 77, you know? So it's big difference. You wouldn't see that today, you know? Impossible to see that today.
And also because, in today's MMA, there are fighters, but I think there are more athletes now.
Yes.
You know?
Much better athletes.
Much
they have
better athletes.
Better knowledge of science and things like that. Yeah.
But then again, I feel like there's something lacking from the modern, athlete. And it's that scrappy, fighting spirit.
It's the grind that came with those days were different. Yeah. I was fighting, this is the difference when you fight for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they get paid. They're looking as a job. Every action, they go in there. They're afraid to try things, so they don't want to lose. They want to make sure that they win. That holds them back a lot, which we didn't have back then. If I lost back then, I would be losing $300.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for you, I always seen you as, you're an athlete. I know you're an athlete, but I would categorize you more as a fighter, because the way you were brought up, the way,
Yeah, it's so true. I know. I believe so too.
And that's the reason why I think you're fighting still today.
That's, I think, what drives me, to be honest. Yeah.
Because, you know, you can take a fighter out of the fight.
Yeah.
But you can't take the fight out of the fight.
Yes, it's so true.
It's just there.
Yeah. If you have it, you have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And believe it, I'm looking forward to do some more MMA fights now.
Are you?
Yeah.
That was just
the reason why I'm getting in shape for grappling matches is to fight MMA.
Tell me more.
I'm looking forward to soon. I received 2 offers, and I'm thinking about it and seeing what I'm gonna do. Not yet. No. I'm still under contract with the UFC, so I have to look how we set that up. But I'm getting a lot of offers to be fighting soon, and since I'm in shape, I'll do it. It's gonna be our heartbeat. Yeah.
Because that was one of the things that I wanted to ask you, because you're 50 now and you're still, I mean, you're in great shape, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're still doing this submission fighting. Now you're fighting a super fight, and so on. If you last year, 2 years ago, you fought Sakuraba. Yeah.
Yes. It was 2 years, huh?
I was just gonna ask you if you're still thinking about doing MMA.
Yes. So that's my
every
answer.
day, right?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, and it's funny because people ask, why you wanna do this? You wanna do it for the money? You don't need the money. You don't need. You have your name already. I say I do it because it burns on my skin. It makes me feel alive.
Yeah.
It's passion in my heart.
Exactly.
You know, if you can't understand that, I can't explain to you.
No.
Yes.
It's hard to explain to someone why you want to fight, why you want to get hit in the face, why you want to hit someone back in the face, and just hug it out afterwards. You know, people don't get it.
They could never understand that.
No,
yeah.
But it's just something built inside.
Yes.
You also said a few years ago you were talking about the Pacification of America.
Mm-hmm. You've been doing your homework.
I have.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Pacification of America, because I think alike.
Yeah.
I think alike. I hate softness, you know?
Yeah, it's like now, it's like if you are hard, if you're tough, you're supposed to be wrong.
Yeah.
That's how they act. It's like they want you to be soft, they want you to be mellow, they want you to accept everything that is imposed to you and not rebel.
Exactly.
My dear friend, I will rebel against even something that I want, just for the fun.
Did you know that this is the first time in human history where men don't have like a rite of passage? Is that how you say it, you know?
Yeah.
Men, this is the first time in human history where men aren't taught how to defend their families.
Yes. It's amazing.
The last 50 years something happened to us.
It's ridiculous. You know, one of the most amazing movies and books that I read was the Fight Club.
Yeah.
It was that book. I remember I read the book. I love it. I gave it to John Danaher, one of my instructors, who's a philosophy teacher at Columbia University. The first thing he said, this book's going to be a movie. And it became a movie. Because this is what happened in America now. It's like the man needs to be male, to be alpha. And they treat him, they put him in, they're suppressing out their energy and the drive. And this, they don't realize, but this end up repercussing on everything else, on every field. You know, even on the knowledge, like what people don't know. There was they made a test to bring people to develop the nanotechnology in America. They need 32 scientists. You know how many Americans? Zero. So what does that tell you? Everyone was foreigner.
Yeah.
You know, it's even because you don't realize, but this end up reflecting even in the terms of knowledge and your appetite for learning, to improve, to make things better, which Americans always had. They were always ahead and very proud of being ahead of everybody else. And then suddenly, that is the pacification of the whole thing, and everybody has to be, you know, I'm not against the gay pride parade.
No.
You know, it's I respect them, I love them, and I'll protect them if I have to. It's just that we have to have the right to be male.
Exactly.
To be macho. If this offends you, it's like I beat up women. Every time they want to open a door of the car, I'll be there first to open for them. I'll be open doors for them. I'll be helping carrying weights for them.
Exactly.
I'll be there to serve them in whatever necessity they have, you know.
And that's the way it's
they
supposed
see.
to be.
Yes, you know, we are the knights.
Exactly
you
what
know?
we should be.
Chivalry
Because,
is our rule. Yeah.
If you ask any woman, any girl in the world, she's waiting for her knight to come in her.
Definitely. And today the woman is more alpha male than the male.
Fuck yeah.
Porra, you look at the women today are tougher than the because there's an apology to raise the woman to be tough and to be every movie now the hero is a woman.
Exactly.
You know?
And what I find is funny is that we teach everyone that violence is never the answer.
But it's always an option.
Yes. And a very good solution.
Yes. It solves everything.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm not saying that violence is the answer to every question.
I'm not saying violence, the dumb violence.
Yeah.
It's a not.
Yeah.
You know, you should never use it. It's like a violence when it's necessary. It has to be used. People have to feel intensity when you get in attack. Next thing you see, you attack back. You're an animal.
Exactly.
You get insulted, and you hit back, and you are a monster.
And,
you know.
And for example, thinking about your past and growing up and being in a lot of fights and all this. For you, it's easy. Violence is just a tool to, to defend yourself or to do something else. But for someone who has never been in a fight, he can't even defend himself against a bully because he will always be oppressed. He will always be...
you know the saddest thing about that is the moment that you can defend yourself, you don't realize, but you get your confidence hurt.
Yeah.
So more and more you oppressed,
yeah.
that will stay forever with you. So that kid that could achieve amazing things and be an amazing human being and make great things, he will never get to that because he couldn't defend himself.
Yeah.
That's where I think Jiu-Jitsu is a very important tool to help this. I was never bullied in my life.
No.
Nobody was ever bullied next to me. Yeah. Let me tell you a story. One time a guy calls my house and my wife calls and I wasn't there. And she goes, Renzo, a gay guy just called you. And then I thought about it and said, I don't remember gay friends that would call me here. A month later, the phone rings again. My wife goes, it's the gay guy that I told you. So I get the phone. It's a guy that grew up with me, a kid. And I go, João, where have you been, man? You disappeared. And this kid, his mother died. And then his grandmother died. And my mother went to adopt him, to live with us. But she couldn't get him. They moved him somewhere. He ended up living in San Francisco with his father. But he was going to live with us. Imagine. And he was gay. And how could you be gay next to me, half and high? It would be difficult. So fate...
It's San Francisco.
No, then he went to San Francisco, to live there. But when I'm talking to him, I say, look, where have you been? I miss you so much. I'm sending you a ticket right now for you to come to see my wife and your nephews. You got to meet your nephews. You never meet them. So he goes, okay, send me the ticket. I sent the ticket. He came to stay with me. When he gets there, I could see he was feminine and he want to tell me that he was gay. And I didn't want to hear because it doesn't concern me. I'm not looking to have sex with him. It's his option, his sexual option, it's his.
And his
but
part of the family.
Yeah, and for me, he's my brother. He's a black kid, His father was one of the best soccer players from Brazil. So then he goes, Renzo, I have to tell you, I'm gay. I say, really, John?
What a fucking...
I go,
really?
Yeah. And then I go to him, but when did you turn gay? Because we grew up together, you're not gay. And he goes, Renzo, I was born, I blinked to the doctor. I go, man, we grew up together. All those fights, all those things that we did together. He goes, Renzo, you fought. I said, don't you remember? People would pick on me. You beat the shit out of them. And so every gay guy was your friend. We knew you're not gay. We don't say nothing. But we all became your friends because you protect us. Nobody would pick or bully us because I wouldn't accept a friend of mine to be bullied.
Of course not.
You know, and I said, really? I go, there was more than one game, more than you. He goes, yeah, 3. I said, please, don't spoil. I had 4 friends. Don't spoil my childhood. Keep it. Let me guess. Don't.
And here we go. Enzo's all friends are gay.
Yeah, unbelievable.
No, but that's what I mean. I mean, we take our daughters to Jiu-Jitsu, and I fucking believe that one day my daughters they're gonna meet guys, of course, and they're gonna get married. But they're gonna be tougher than the guys, and that's what I'm afraid. Now that's the reason why I take them to Jiu-Jitsu, because I can't rely anymore on the world
on the regular system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
I'm doing the same.
Ago.
I'm like my grandkid. I have a grandkid now. He's 2 years and a half. When he reached middle school, I'm gonna put him in school at home. I don't want him in the regular school.
Yeah.
Because I believe they won't be able to educate him the way that I want him educated. I believe they will limit him to become an employee from some company in the future, which I don't think. I want him running the company. I don't want him working for someone. So it's how do you sell this?
It's funny now they're talking about in the school system in Finland that they're not gonna have gender roles anymore.
Yes, this is the weirdest thing ever.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, they're going out of their mind. They're going crazy.
And I mean the most natural thing there is in the world.
And don't take me wrong. I wish I was a kid and I could go in the bathroom with the girls.
Yeah. That's what I've always wanted.
Now they're making this.
But maybe if they make you go into the bathroom with the girls, you're not kind of looking at them anymore. You're like,
yeah, that's true. That's
and
true.
Then you're
maybe the curiosity is dead. You're not hanging up the window looking down.
And then you're calling your gay friends next thing you
true.
know.
Yeah.
No, but Jiu-Jitsu should be in schools.
Definitely. And this is what I'm amazed with Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi was able to put Jiu-Jitsu in school. And the last competition I was there was 7,000 competitors. It's the biggest competition in the world right now. It lasts 14 days. They have their own Jiu-Jitsu arena. Unbelievable, beautiful job they're doing. It's really working.
And I also think that Jiu-Jitsu it's like a life skill. Jiu-Jitsu and self-defense and everything.
What people don't realize, you use this for everything. You use that, you adapt Jiu-Jitsu and self-defense, you adapt it for everything. From going to a place to talk to someone, you want to apply Jiu-Jitsu. You go, you sit in a bad situation, you're going to fix it with Jiu-Jitsu.
It's a problem-solving
It's a problem-solving system inside your head that gets inside your head and it's gonna make your life. I always say Jiu-Jitsu is the master key. He opens every door.
Exactly.
You're able to achieve anything and do anything if you know Jiu-Jitsu.
And once you've been in maybe a tournament or anything that life throws at you. If our daughters are going on a job interview, they're not gonna be, nervous about the job interview because they've stepped on the mat so many times in their life.
It's another day in the office. For them it's gonna be nothing else.
For you going into the octagon.
Yeah, it's like you learn to live out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
That's what Jiu-Jitsu is. It's every time you train, every time you do something, it's new.
Yeah.
It's always with somebody else. It's always with a different body type. It's always with a different speed. Sometimes you make a mistake and you're able to fix yourself. So it's the constant art of falling and coming back up, falling down and coming back up. And it only makes us better. It changes your way of seeing the world and change the world of you, change your mind of how you have to behave when you have a problem. It's like for me, life is problems. You're gonna have problems all the time.
Every day.
And I deal with them like it's a normal thing.
If you're done with one problem, the next problem is
just wait for the next one. Yeah, it's so true.
It's just gonna come. Yeah. But as soon as you accept that's the way it's gonna be, the easier it's gonna be.
It becomes easy. Yeah. It's so true. Yeah.
And that everything comes from the philosophy of Jiu-Jitsu and everything I learned. As you were saying, you were taught the samurai way and all this Japanese culture. It just comes from there accepting it.
It's so true.
So how how long are you going to be fighting?
I don't know. As long as I feel good and I like it, and the beauty too is every time I fight, I'm able to improve those around me. I'm able to improve my students. I'm able to improve my way of thinking of jiu-jitsu and make it better. You know, so it's as I will fight as long as my body allows me. As long as I feel good, I'll be doing.
You're such a legend.
Thank you.
Know? You're such a legend that people quote you.
Thank you.
And there's fucking memes and everything around, you know.
Yeah,
on Instagram
I've seen
with
some. It's funny.
With your quotes.
One of the best ones that I saw was like, "Does your father do jiu-jitsu?"
Yeah.
So happy Mother's Day for him. That was that was unbelievable.
I shared that.
Yeah,
I
you did
shared
it, yeah.
that on Father's Day.
That was unbelievable.
in
Yeah.
Finland.
Does your father does not do jiu-jitsu? Happy Mother's Day for him.
I fucking shared that. But yeah, one of the things you said is that you're gonna die shitting your pants like everyone else.
But know exactly who I was.
Yes.
Know exactly and truly who I was.
Yes. And all those memories you have from this lifetime of I mean, you've lived an intense life.
Mm-hmm.
You even said about your brother Hyan when he died that he lived. How was it that you said?
I believe I say he lived because we measure life, we measure time.
Yeah.
We measure life by the time that we lived. So in reality, it's not the right way. The right way is by the intensity that we
Exactly.
lived. Yeah. So he lived so intensely that he outlived all of us by far.
Yeah.
And
he could write books on his life.
Yeah, a lot.
But you can write at least 2 books as well.
I hope so.
So, and you've also said that all the memories that you have from this lifetime of fighting, going to places, seeing people, and meeting a lot of people. You meet a lot of people.
Yes.
Going all over the world, meeting a lot of people. Because for me, I've been all around the world. And the thing is that I've had friends everywhere because of jiu-jitsu and because of MMA. Because when I go somewhere...
I used to make fun. I say, I don't need a Facebook. I didn't have a Facebook. Yeah. I say, my network of friends, it's in a jiu-jitsu academy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as you were saying, you filled your life with intense moments. And that's the reason why you're happy all the time.
Yeah, I believe so too. It's because I'm a complete man. I was telling just a story to them when I crossed with you guys in the corridor. I went to the doctor. This doctor that I went there for 20 years, I went there to check every time I had a fight, I had to do an eye check. The commission demands that. So I'll go there, do an eye check, and then go. I had never had a problem with my vision. So then at 48 years old, 2 years ago, I felt that I was getting tired of reading and I was getting a little fuzzy. I went there to test. So the guy puts the thing in his eyes and comes to see my eye. Suddenly he pulls his face off. And this is an old doctor who's there for a long time. This 20 years he was seeing me. He looks at me and he goes, "You're going to be blind." And I just laugh. He goes, "You think I'm joking? You're going to be blind." And then he goes back again, keeps looking, and looks my eye. "I'm going to run a bunch of tests on you." And I said, "No problem." And I'm still in good spirits. He goes, he tests everything for like an hour and a half. Then he comes back to me and he says, you're not going to be blind. Your eyes have the cup, very large cup, which is a sign of glaucoma, which would make you blind in the near future.
Yeah.
But you don't have one sign of glaucoma. And I laugh again. I'm laughing and he's pissed. He's a very serious guy, you know. So I get my prescription, I got my things, I get up, I open the door, I look at him, I say, "Do you know why I laugh? I didn't laugh from you because of you. I didn't laugh because I laughed because when you told me that I was going to be blind, I couldn't help but laugh of how sarcastic life is." There's a guy, excuse me to ask, "How old are you?" He goes, 82. I go, "I have a guy who's 82 years old telling me at 48 that I'll be blind. And I think of you, you didn't see half of what I've seen at 48. you didn't see half 82. Your whole life, I've been coming here for 20 years. You run a beautiful office, amazing office. It's a beautiful business here. You probably spend your whole life in school studying like crazy. You got married. You couldn't do nothing. You didn't travel. You stay here because every time I came, you were here. And you work so much and study so much to be doing what you're doing. But you didn't leave. You didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
So I can be blind. I can afford to be blind.
Because
if I lose my sight now, there's nothing that I'm missing. I've seen everything almost. Even what I never seen, I've seen, I say to him. But you, I'm sorry, you have just a few more years of trying to see something that you missed this whole time. You know, have a good day. And then I left. Next time I went there was this beautiful young lady there. I said, I'm sorry, but where's my doctor? I like the old man. She goes, Mr. Gracie, I know about you. And actually, everybody on this office knows about you. So when you set up an appointment, everybody's here excited to see you. The old man that you want to see is my grandfather. Right now, I'm running the whole office. I'm the boss here now. I took his place. He's in Paris, traveling the whole Europe. He's in Paris now, seeing the Louvre because of you. After what you told him, he retired and took off. He's traveling the whole world.
And that's the way you should live life.
That's yes,
because
yes.
I know exactly. I know exactly what you mean, because my mom and dad died when I was very young, and ever since then, I knew that life can end. You know. In an instant,
any moment,
yes. Any moment.
Yes.
So we should live intensely.
To the fullest.
Exactly.
Yes. I don't want, I always say, I don't want nothing shallow. I don't want nothing warm.
Yeah.
Or it's cold or it's hot. Or it's deep or dry. You know, don't give me half.
And for some of us, it's, you know, it's fighting.
Yes.
And lucky for us, there's now a legal way to fight, you know. Because, you know, things can happen when you're fighting on the street.
Definitely. I honestly think like a Jiu-Jitsu academy is the perfect spot, because you can train as intense as you're fighting without hurting yourself, without hurting someone, you know. And better you get, easier it is, and you know, to control that. It's unbelievable. That's why I love Jiu-Jitsu so much. I couldn't live without it.
I was away from Jiu-Jitsu for a few years, but I'm back now, and I'm loving it.
That's
fully.
good.
That's what I was gonna ask you about that. Now, when you look back at your Jiu-Jitsu life, obviously Jiu-Jitsu changes in you know 10, 20 years, whatever you do. How is your fighting style different now than it was in 10, 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's funny, but today I try to make things easier, more logical. The game gets simpler, more simple. Before we try to complicate it, try to create, to make things harder, and everything, because you have the physical condition, you're young and dumb, and you try, you know, to muscle your way out of things. So today I believe I'm much better than I was before. I'm much more technical. I have a vision, a much better vision. It's what they say, like normally when you over the 40s, 45s, you over the hill. That's what they say. What they don't realize, it's actually when you over the hill that you pick up speed and you have a much better view. You know, so it's like your ability to see things are much better.
It's because your testosterone
it's a little lower.
Is a little lower than you're not, you know, going
you're not up the hill. So then you relax, you look, you enjoy, and you pick up speed. That's when you do it.
Fuck yeah.
You know, the right way. You know.
Renzo, thank you so much
I'm the
for
one who
doing
thank
this.
you. Thanks for great interview, my friend.
This was more than a pleasure.
That's my pleasure.
You are an alpha.
Tell them, huh? No BS.
People can find you obviously on Facebook and Instagram, all that shit. But you also have an app, right?
Oh, Galler.
Galler
app. We're teaching Jiu-Jitsu online. It's growing like crazy. The last seminar that we did, we watched by 1 million people live.
Wow.
1 million people watch it and support that. So it's really growing, and I hope it becomes a strong company for Jiu-Jitsu.
That's the way to spread Jiu-Jitsu.
And I'm able to reach people who don't have Jiu-Jitsu near them. It's like it goes on every corner in the globe, and people have access, and we try to bring them the best quality. And I'm bringing other people from outside with different views and ways of doing things different from mine too. So this way, we can spread Jiu-Jitsu even more.
I love it, man. I love it.
It's my pleasure, pa.
All the best for you, and
the best thing, I was able to find a Viking here finally, porra.
Finally, finally a Viking.
Finally, yes.
And for you guys, this was my second episode in English. I got a bunch of episodes in Finnish, but you're probably not all gonna understand that. But go and check out Dean Lister's interview. I don't remember what episode it was, but go and check it out. ALFALAND, Dean Lister. Go and check it out. Thank you, Renzo.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
See you next time.
See you guys next time.